This season, I'm going to call it now, is going to be probably the best season we've had for theory crafting in a very long time. So I am super looking forward to that. What's going on, everyone? It's the People's Envoy Updog here with you again, and today we are going to talk about what you should be putting on for the brand new season of Crucible. It's season 16 now. I can't believe we're 16 seasons into it. They've definitely shortened the seasons quite a bit since, compared to maybe like a year and a half ago, something like that. But we're going to quickly go over the rules of each room, and then I'll give you my suggestions for each room. So here we go. So room 1 is a room we've had, I don't know, like 4, 5, 6 times. Who knows? Something like that. It's been a lot. Basically what happens is anytime a character takes a turn, whether it's offense or defense, if there's an ally who is a skirmisher, then that ally who is a skirmisher will assist that character who goes. So there's a lot of good striker skirmisher combinations you could throw in here. And so yeah, that's pretty simple rule. Like I said, we've seen it a lot in the past, so I thought up. Now ISO is obviously going to matter big time on these rooms, and so I am really want to try this team out to see if it'll work. And that team is going to be just a full Night Stalkers team, but we're going to have Agatha. I don't have it changed right now, but we're going to have Agatha as a skirmisher, and probably Moon Knight as a skirmisher. So that way, when Blade goes, Agatha is gonna assist, and if it's a mystic enemy that she's hitting with her assist, she steals 5% of that character's health. So that's some extra damage right there, right off the bat, if it's a mystic character. But if it's not a mystic character, doesn't matter what kind of character it is. She also puts out deflect onto all of the Night Stalker allies. And if anybody remembers what happens with Moon Knight when he gets a deflect, he on any turn, can be the enemy turn or the ally's turn, he will flip that deflect. Whoever takes that next turn, he'll flip that deflect into offense up, and he will give himself 20% speed bar. So I am really curious to see how this goes. I hope it works like I theory crafted it. I'm going to have to take him up to level 105 because he's not 105 yet. But I'm hoping that this works out great. And also on Moon Knight's ISO attack. So like I said, when Blade goes in and attacks, Agatha is going to go in and assist. She's going to maybe take that extra health if they're a mystic character. And then she'll give that deflect to Moon Knight. He'll get 20% speed bar. I'm going to make Moon Knight a skirmisher as well, because on his ISO attack, he gains some random positive effects, like counter, off. I think offense up is one of them, which he'll probably already get that from Agatha anyway. I'm looking over here at my screen, trying to check here. Remind myself. Here we go. Counter, offense up, and speed up. That was the one. That was the one I was looking for. So kind of like how we used to try and trigger Quicksilver to get like a speed up or some of those random positive effects. It's kind of like that, only Moon Knight has new stats, and he will ult and wreck some people. So that is my crazy scientist idea I've got going on there. So that's my the team I'm going to run. You guys don't have to do it, but I think it's going to be a great team to have in this room. There's another room for Night Stalkers that I think they're going to be really good in. If this team doesn't work out like I want to, I'm probably use them in the room that we'll talk about here in a little bit. And then we got Orcus with Old Man Logan as another choice for a backup. And Accursed is not supposed to be here. Oh, huh. Okay. Well, that's supposed to be an absolute A-Force comp in here as a third option, like the one we've been seeing: Kahori, Miss Marvel, OG Emma. I might have that down here in the other another room here, but yeah, that kind of team. You could do like a Wanda's Revenge team. This room really is kind of a nothing burger, but I'm really excited to try these Night Stalkers here. So, alright, so room 2 is going to be the Sinister's Gambit room. Basically, the character with the highest health clones the enemy character with the highest attack. And so, this is where my my curse comes in. That's going to be what I'm going to be using in room 2. I'm going to do Quasar Accursed. Normally for U32 I did Mephisto Accursed, and that was a really great team. However, Mephisto I think is going to be more important in a different room, so we'll talk about that. So there we go. I put the Accursed in again. You don't have to do Quasar. You can do Mephisto if you want. You can do. I've seen in U32 I faced against Skrull Accursed. There's a lot of different options you could do here with Accursed. I don't think full Accursed is probably the answer. It's got to be somebody faster than Mordo, or more like a mythic character, something like that. The other backup options, I ran into this team a lot during U32. That was freaking annoying. So this team is going to be great. Phoenix Force, Skrull, and Thanos and Gladiator. Or also my other option that I had thought of was, if you do have Invisible Woman, the new Invisible Woman, plus the other 2 Fantastic Four members, maybe a Shadow King and a Doctor Strange in here would be good. So, cloning then this team, and then plus getting a clone on top of it, should be a pretty tough team to have on your defense. So now the room 3, we have basically your on your defense, or any character, the specials are reduced by 2, but the ultimates are increased by 3 energy, and then you'll get energy if an ally dies on your defense. So that was a pretty tough room for U32 as well. So the team that I had the most struggle, well, not this exact team, a very close version of this team. We're gonna see here, see if I can get out of the way. So this, I ran into this team a lot, only except for instead of Dorm, it was Mephisto. So that team was really rough in this room here. I'm going to suggest that the only reason I'm putting Dorm in here is, again, because I'm going to use Mephisto somewhere else. So we're going to give this first week a shot, trying up some different things. Hopefully some of the things might stick and some things might not. So we'll see. But the other backup options I have are going to be Sasquatch, Odin, and Illuminati. That's a tough team. Especially if you are going to use, in the next room is basically the Starjammer room. So if you're going to have Starjammers on defense, this team will be very tough for your opponents. And then Skrull Liberty is my other backup option for this room. They work really well with just starting off with their specials. Cap Sam will taunt first thing instead of doing his ult, which is really good because he'll give out energy, he'll taunt, things like that. So, and then Patriot, his special is a great. Falcon's special is great. Peggy's is pretty good too. Scrolls, so plus you get the hero synergy with Skrull here on his special, so he will put out that ability block. So yeah, all great things on this team. gonna take something pretty strong to take it out. So, room 4, like I said, is gonna be the Starjammer room. And actually, you know what? Let's just scroll here. Here we go. Oops. Don't want to give away the farm here. All right. So, Starjammers. So, Annihilators count as Starjammers in this room. 4. So, what I did was I took most of the important characters from Starjammers and threw a couple of Annihilators on there with them. Now, I did keep Howard on offense in this version, or this in my recommendations here, because that way you can put Howard with Rocket and then the 3 other, yeah, that's 5. You put him with the other Annihilators that you have, and then you can have a fairly good attack team that will shut down Speed Bar and Speed. So not as potent as Starjammers, but still a good team that can shut down a lot of mechanics that you see in Crucible. So that's my recommended team for room 4. You could also do just everybody, all the Starjammers, take out Howard again, just because you may want to use, or I'm going to want to use him on offense, and then put in Gladiator. So Howard with the 4 Annihilators would actually be pretty good. A better team, I think, but this team on defense is going to be a lot more of a nightmare, I think, because not only do you have Thanos' passive going off, you have Groot's ult, which will reduce trauma, any negative effects by a count of 2. So he'll get rid of trauma, he'll get rid of any other thing that you have up to 2. So combine that with Thanos, his passive, and then you do get a speed boost basically from Havoc. So it's not like you're really slow. Still, without Howard, you're still going pretty fast. And, you know, Lilandra, she'll stop speed up, and you got the Gladiator there. If Lilandra gets hurt, then she'll summon another Gladiator, have 2 Gladiators. So it's I think it's going to be pretty tricky. And then my other recommendation here, I don't really have a third one for this room because it's so specific. So just got my all-star Merc Lieutenant in here to kind of separate things out here a little bit. So next up is going to be room 5, and that one is if a character has trauma, then like if you land a successful attack on a character with trauma, then you do an ISO attack on them. So who puts out a lot of trauma? Mr. Mephisto here. Cabal puts out some trauma. Skrull puts out some trauma. So we got a trauma team here. I really, last season, in season 15, I was trying to like force Cabal to be used on offense somewhere. So I figure we might as well put Cabal on defense. So yeah, we'll see how that goes too. I'm interested to see what happens there, because Mephisto is going to be getting a bunch of extra stats. Skrull is there to get that early crit. I will have Kang available on offense still if I need him. So that is my thoughts behind that team. My backup here is going to be another Phoenix Force Skrull comp. This time we have Guardian and Sasquatch to kind of boost the offense of these 3. These 2 are basically expendable at this point. They're just there to support the main 3 here. And then another, maybe a Kohori Shadow King type comp in this room as well. The idea behind the Phoenix Force and Shadow King is because they don't get trauma. So it'll be harder for the opponent to attack into here if they can't get trauma, and therefore hopefully your defense will do more damage. So that is the thought behind that. Just thought I'd kind of explain that a little bit, why why these characters are good in this room here. So, and then the last room is Desir's room, which I gotta hand it to him. He came up with some great rules. It's can be difficult to come up with something original, and I like where he went with this. This is gonna be this season. I'm gonna call it now, is gonna be probably the best season we've had for theory crafting in a very long time. So I am super looking forward to that. So room 6 is basically you want to have a city character, a global character, and a cosmic character on your team. Let's go over it real quick here. A lot of these rooms were really easy. This one is a little bit more involved, but I really like it. So if you have one city ally, specials will cost 2 less. So we want to look at characters that have good special abilities. Then if you have a global ally, when attacked, allies fill speed bar by 5%. So some extra speed boost there if your global character is attacked. And then a cosmic ally, if you have a cosmic ally, the ultimate abilities cost 2 more for the enemies. So thinking about this, you want to do, like I said, you want to do a team that has good special abilities, but you also want to do a team that doesn't necessarily rely too heavily on their ultimates. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So my suggested team for defense, now I'm going to make sure I have all these. Okay, I didn't put Illuminati in the first slot in another room, so that's good. I always like to make sure that, I'm, for my primary recommendation, that I'm not, double dipping and so on. So Illuminati with Miss Marvel Hardlight. Miss Marvel Hardlight is city. We've got Hank as a global, Shuri's a global, I believe Captain Britain's global, and then Black Bolt is cosmic. So we've got 3 characters that are global. So if you hit into them, they're going to give that, well, I guess with Captain Britain, you kind of forego the speed bar increase a little bit. That's the only drawback to this team. You could drop him for Mr. Fantastic or even Iron Man. Iron Man's global. Mr. Fantastic, I believe, is cosmic. But I think it's going to be more important to have that speed bar shut down for your opponent who's going to be attacking into this room. So Miss Marvel is going to be providing a taunt. If your opponent brings in a character who is cosmic, then they're going to increase your team's ultimates, which isn't as big of a deal for Illuminati. It's really only a big deal for Shuri, but she also gives 2 energy on her special. So right there, we're already kind of trying to make up some ground there, or making up some ground there pretty easily. Miss Marvel will taunt even with her special too. So like, again, if they bring in a cosmic character, increase her ultimate ability energy, she'll still have her special where she will be able to taunt. And yeah, that's pretty much the idea behind Illuminati. They're gonna be hard to beat, I think, in this room, because some of the counters that you use to beat them are going to need their ultimates, and then they're not going to be able to have their ultimates. So that is why I chose Illuminati. As far as the other options here, Night Stalkers with Shadow King, I really want to see if this Illuminati doesn't work out too well. I want to see how Night Stalkers with Shadow King does, because I think that's going to be good. The only thing is that if they bring in a cosmic character again, it's going to shut down the Night Stalker ultimates, and that it really hurts them if you do that. So that's their one weakness in this room. That's why they're not primary. That's why they are primary in room 1. So I think they're still going to be pretty good, but definitely not as top tier as the Illuminati choice. And then we've got another absolute A-Force comp in this room as well. So yeah, those are my suggestions for you. Get a quick screenshot if you want right here. Yeah, hope that helps everyone. Good luck in the first week of the new season. I apologize I did not get out a graphic, but I hope this is a good secondary choice for you. And until next time, make sure you spend those resources wisely, and we will see you in the next one.